Hey, everybody. It is your girl, Cheryl, and welcome to Church Girl Rats. It is wonderful, terrific Tuesday. I hope that you all are doing well and that things are going good for you. It has been quite a week. I hope that you are having a wonderful week. I hope that you had a great long weekend. For me, it has been a good weekend, but it has been an exhausting weekend. Anybody else feel me on that? It seems like we got an extra day, but I still felt kind of like, yikes. But anyway, I am so glad to have you join me on tonight. This is Church Girl Rants, where me and a couple of my friends, we get together and we chat up topics about single life in the body of Christ. And so we're going to talk about everything from relationships to money, fashion, all the things. We're going to talk about all the things. So if you are joining me, I want you to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, and let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're on YouTube, let me know that. If you are on Facebook, let me know that, and invite some of your good girlfriends. I just realized as the countdown clock for the intro was rolling that I had the wrong title, y'all. That was last week's episode. So forgive me for that. This week we are talking about what? What makes you marriage material? Are you? That's the question. Are you marriage material? Do you have what it takes to be a wife? We were talking a lot this season about relationships, all things for single women to prepare themselves, to question, to think about marriage. Is that something that you desire? Is that something that you want? So let me know where you are joining me. Hey, Canessa, thanks so much for joining. Canessa is joining us from Ozark, Alabama. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you here. Thank you so much for joining. Be sure to share this with some of your good girlfriends. We always have a wonderful time here. And I know you guys are looking and you're like, wait a minute, where are the co-hosts? Well, y'all, yeah, it may just be me on this evening. Everything happened on today. One of my good girlfriends was running late. One is out with her daughter. And so y'all may just have me on tonight. But I promise you, it's going to be fun. And so we always start out our day with a question. And so it's let's cue the question of the day. And I love doing question of the day because it gives us an opportunity just to kind of think about some things, especially when we're talking about this season relationships. I wanted to ask the question, are today's women too picky? Are women today too picky? And y'all, I want to hear from y'all in the comments. Let me know if we're too picky. You know, we're single, we're believing God for our husbands, for our spouses. Are we being too picky? Is our list too long? Are we expecting things that we shouldn't expect? So let me know in the comments if you think that today's single Christian woman is being too picky. I want to hear from you. I want to get your feedback. I'm going to let you know how I feel about it, but I do want to hear your feedback as well. So don't be shy. We are a community here and we're going to talk to each other. And I want you to talk back to me too. So let me know in the comments if we're too picky. And for those of you, I just realized that there may be some people that are watching live or some that'll watch the replay that do not know who I am. My name is Cheryl Thomas. I'm a minister, I'm a bestselling author, and a certified Christian life coach. And here on Cheryl Thomas Speaks, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Facebook, I inspire women of faith, single women in particular, to live the overcoming abundant life that God called for us to live in every area of our lives. I think that single women need to be expanding their borders, expanding their horizons. And while we are believing God for husbands, while we're believing God to be married, we're not just going to put our life on hold until he comes. So until God sends him, we're going to be building big business. We're going to be traveling the earth because it is opening up again. We're going to be building great friendships. We're going to be expanding in our careers and living life fully, fully, not waiting for him to come, but doing that before he comes so that when he does come, we can enjoy all those great things together. So, y'all, let me know, are we too picky? Are women being too picky? And I'm going to go ahead and give y'all my feedback since I see that y'all are a little nervous about commenting. I don't see any comments yet. I think that sometimes we can be. I talk to my girlfriends all the time about what our expectations are for marriage, what we're looking for in marriage. And sometimes I think that our list can be really, really long. And sometimes not, it seems as though some of us, and I'll put myself in this category as well, that we are expecting perfection, and perfection is not attainable. And if you could find a perfect man, he probably wouldn't want to be with imperfect me. So I think sometimes our expectations are too high, because I think that we have bought into this whole Cinderella complex. I talked about that as I was speaking to a group of ladies last week or the week before about how we have bought into that whole Cinderella syndrome where we are expecting someone to come in, swoop us in off that white horse and save the day. But what if he doesn't come on a white horse? Maybe the horse is brown. I'm just teasing. Maybe it's different than our expectations. And so sometimes I think that we can be a little picky. So let me know how you all feel about that. Are we too picky? So don't be shy to comment because I see y'all are here. So don't be shy to be, to comment on it. So listen, on today's topic, we're going to be talking about what makes a person marriage material. What makes you marriage material? Do you think that you have the qualities of being marriage material? Do you think that um, you are marriage material? So I want to hear you in the comments. Who do you think that you are marriage material? Let me know in the comments if that's you, if you think that you are marriage material. I mean, I think I am. I guess that remains to be seen. But let me know in the comments if you feel that you are marriage material. And I'm looking down on my phone because I'm checking my YouTube as well. So let me know if you think you are marriage material. Just sound out. And if yes, and if you're already married, let me know that in the comments as well. If you're single, let me know if you think you're marriage material. If you are married, let me know in the comments so we can get some advice from y'all on how we should move forward. And if we are marriage material and what that looks like. So when I was thinking about marriage material and what that is, a lot of times single women, we want to be married, but we haven't been mentored into what that looks like, what marriage looks like on a real day-to-day basis. We've been given the celebrity overview of what marriage looked like, the movies, the Hollywood view of what, marriage material is or what it would be like to be married. But a lot of times we haven't been mentored or we haven't seen marriages up front and up close. So sometimes we're desiring something that we aren't prepared for. And so are you prepared to be a wife? not just to be a girlfriend, not just to be physically intimate with someone, but are you prepared to be a wife? Are you prepared to cover a husband? Are you prepared to be there when you feel like it and when you don't feel like it? So those are things that I know that we have to be thinking about, that we have to be concerned with. Are we really prepared to be a wife? So I want to know, what do you think some elements of being a wife are? Since we're asking you if you're marriage material, what are some elements of being a wife? What are some good attributes of being a wife? Let me know how you feel about that in the comments as well. And y'all can feel free to talk back to me. I promise I do not bite. I will not bite you. So feel free to sound off in the comments to let me know, what do you think are some good attributes of a wife? What are attributes of a wife? Let me know that in the comments. I want to hear from you. And so I'm just going to give you a few moments to let me know about that. What are good attributes of a wife? And while I'm doing that, I'm going to pull up, because we're going to go to the word too. I'm going to pull up the scripture that everyone loves to give to us when we're talking about that. And so we're going to go to Proverbs. All right, we're going to go to Proverbs, and we're going to be talking about that as well. Oh, y'all are real shy tonight. Y'all are real shy tonight. Y'all not talking to me because it's me by myself and I don't have a good co-host here with me. So y'all decide y'all not going to talk tonight. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start verse 11. It says, well, I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her." So, number one, we see the first attribute of a wife is trustworthy. Are you trustworthy? And not just in just regular things, but are you trustworthy with somebody's heart? Can a man trust you with his heart? That if he gives you his heart, if he starts sharing with you things about his life, that you will hold those in confidence, that you won't go to your good girlfriends and talk about it, that you won't go to your family members and talk about it, but stuff that he shares with you in confidence, that he can feel safe and secure in what you have shared. Can he feel safe? Can that man trust you? And so that's one thing that the Bible tells us that we should look for, or that a man is going to be looking for, is, are you trustworthy? So if you feel like you are trustworthy, I want to hear it in the comments. Are you trustworthy? It says, his heart does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Can you preserve what you have been given? Anything that doesn't have to, has no need of spoil, is a preserver. That's why in some of this processed food that they want to last for a long time, they put preservatives in it so that it can last, so that it does not spoil, so that it does not go bad. So can you preserve what your husband gives you? I know I talk to a lot of married couples, and what they'll tell you, or what the husband will always say, is that she can take anything I give her and make it better and multiply it and increase it. If I give her an idea, she'll create that into a plan of action. So can your husband in the future, can he trust that you will preserve what you give to him? So, number one is trustworthiness. Number two is a preserver. Can you preserve him? It also says she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Now, that is unconditional. Are you trustworthy to do good all the days that you are on the earth with this man, in sickness and health, for better or for worse, West, for better or for worse. Can you do that? Can you be trusted to do that? Then I'll go to the next one. It says, she seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ship. She bringeth her food from afar. She rises also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. Can you multiply? Can you multiply? Now I'm going to say it again. Can you multiply? Because there may be more than just your husband and your children that you will be stewardship over. I see people all the time talking about wanting to be power couples and, all of that. But are you equipped for that? Do you have the tenacity? Do you have the stamina for that? Are you marriage material? She considereth it a field and buyeth it. Are you resourceful? Are you resourceful? Do you know how to move economies? Do you know how to shift economies? In other words, can you make money and make decisions with the money that you've been given to multiply that money, to multiply what has been given to you? Can you do that? She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. My stuff is good. Whatever I produce is good. Are you confident? Men love confident women. A husband is going to want his wife to be confident and not to always seek affirmation from him, but that you're confident in yourself and who God has called you, created you to be. Are you confident? And I know I'm skipping over some, but I want to capture the basic ones before I jump off here on tonight, because these are things that I just want you to be thinking about, things that I want you to be considering as you look inwardly to see if I am marriage material. And here is the foundation for why I wanted even to use this as a show topic about being marriage material, is because a lot of times we as single women, we say we want to be married, but we aren't really aware of what that entails. We see people that are married and we think that we want to be married. We think that it would be great to be married. Hey, Susie, thanks so much for joining. And so, without considering what that means, without considering all of the things that go into a marriage, and so, as we are single and as we are praying for our husbands, as we're believing God for our husbands, we have to be considering what we bring to the table. I had a wonderful mother in our church that used to counsel us on those kinds of topics about being married. And we would always tell our list of things that we were looking for in husbands. And she would also always say, "You got a long list. What does his list look like? Do you have the things that are going to be on his list?" So instead of you being so concerned about writing your list, be sure that you are the list that he is making, that you house the list that he is thinking about. So make sure that you are a part of that list. And so that even when it talks about her husband is known in the gates because of her. What is it about you that is going to make a man proud to say she belongs to me? Do you have talent, skill, gifting, anointing? If it's encouragement, if it is good support for him, whatever it is, you'll have to be confident enough in and do it well enough to be bragged on. Can he brag on you? Is he going to be proud to say that he is with you? And I see one of my co-hosts is coming in. Let me let her in. Hold on just a sec. Hey ma'am,
Hello.
how are you?
Hi, I'm so sorry.
No worries, no worries. I
We
told
started
him, I
having
said, I'm on
technical
here by my
difficulties.
lonesome tonight, but we're gonna move on.
Uh-oh. So what happened with Sharon?
She's out with her daughter, and so she was
Yeah.
in the car, and she didn't want to call in that way. But
Yeah.
we're gonna move forward,
Okay.
and we're just discussing, of course, marriage material, what that looks like, and
Okay.
I was kind of going through the things or the qualities of a wife, and so I'll let you chime in. What do you think are the qualities of a wife? What is marriage material?
Well, I always base it off of a Proverbs 31 woman,
Mm-hmm.
because she takes care of her home. She takes care of her husband. She's making sure that if there are children, that they are taken care of. Um, she can be submissive,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just leave that there. I was gonna say when need be, but you're supposed to be submissive, so I had to just stop. I had to stop.
Right,
um,
right.
yeah, she's just an all around blessed woman that, as Proverbs 31 says, her children and her husband will call her blessed.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
and one thing I can say that I have learned, this type of woman also, she brings peace for her husband.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
She brings peace, and she's not keeping up all of this ruckus and things that would overwhelm and overstress. She's not a big nagger. She's not doing all those things like that. So that's what will make a rounded wife.
Okay, cool, cool. And actually, I was just actually going down through some of the scriptures from Proverbs 31, talking
Yeah.
about the
Cool.
attributes of what the Bible tells us. What Solomon's mother was telling him, these are
Mhm.
things that you need to be looking for. These are
Uh-huh.
attributes that she has. And so I
Uh-huh.
think we were talking about how it's important as we are considering being married, as our desire is to be married, do we
Yeah.
have these attributes?
Yes.
Can our husband, do we have the capacity to safeguard his heart?
True.
To make sure that, the Bible says that his heart trusts safely in her. Can he feel
Yes.
safe with me? That
Yes.
anything
Very
he
true.
shares with me, it starts and ends with me, and that I
Yes.
won't divulge that kind of information. I won't take advantage of his weaknesses, or his
Mhm.
frailties, or
Mhm.
things that he only shares with me. Then that it
Mhm.
stops and ends with me. And so,
Mhm.
just talking about some of those things as well, and just making sure that we are ready for
4.
the day to day marriage, and not this
Oh yeah.
Hollywood Cinderella marriage that we want it to be. I want a TV marriage, I want a movie marriage, but
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
what marriage is. And so, just kind of.
Marriage, I was gonna say too, because I have been married before.
Hmm.
Marriage does come with a lot of compromise as well. You have to compromise. So it could be that the way you're used to doing everything on a daily basis, how you like it this way, you're gonna have to make a lot of compromises in marriages. And if you're not a person that's willing to compromise, you may need to think about that. I mean, because things are gonna be totally different. I mean, from like maybe cooking and things that you cook, or maybe the time that he wants to go to bed, or maybe he wants to have that time and you want to watch, a certain show, or I mean, there's just so much that comes to a marriage that people don't really think about.
Right.
Because it can't be that one spouse is just making all the compromise and the other one is not. It has to be that you both are making the compromises. And I think I've said it before on one of our other discussions. One of you may like your toilet tissue over, and the
Right.
other one likes it to go underneath. So if you
Right.
got one bathroom, that's gonna be a problem,
Right.
because every
Right.
time you go in there, y'all gotta be flipping it back and forth, and
I gotta
somebody
compromise
gonna get
on
upset, huh?
that.
Yes, yes, you got to come. You got to compromise, and I mean, it's things like maybe you're used to Colgate toothpaste, He might like Crest, unless y'all gonna just buy, so but there's just all these compromises there
Right.
that you have to learn to bring together to be able to live together in one house. Because it's totally different from just dating a person when you live with them. Because you
Right.
get to see the sides of a person that others can't see when they're out in public. You get to see that behind closed doors. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's so important. And your insight is, so important too, because me as, a single woman that, for the bigger part of my life, I
Yeah.
have lived, like I want.
Yeah. See?
You know, and
So,
without
so
having
that'll
to
be a big
consider that,
that'll be a big change.
yeah, that I'm not gonna have my weight all the time, and I'm gonna have to be um malleable. I'll have to be liquid. I'll have to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that I am willing to, concede. I'm willing
Yeah.
to compromise, and so getting my mind to the thought pattern of, okay, you've lived a good portion of your life being the decision maker.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
and I think for me that's a big part of, and I'm just gonna be honest, y'all. I'm just gonna tell you that's a big part of my hesitation is trusting someone enough to yield decision making authority to them.
Uh-huh.
That's been
Yeah.
for me is like I really have to trust you,
Yeah.
trust your ability to make good sound decisions, because I know that for me being a believer, and for me believing that I am, a part of my role as a wife is submissive, to submit under the vision of the man that I choose to marry, is finding a man who I feel confident in enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I
Yeah.
think those are things that when we're considering, are we marriage material, are we ready to submit?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it could come with this too, Cheryl, that one of you, what if you're not in the same city or state? Are you willing to relocate for that person?
Okay, right,
You know what I'm saying? It's just so many things. I can tell you this. Okay, so with my husband, he was not from here, but he had moved here and moved with someone for a while. But he was a country boy. He was used to the country, used to having animals. He raised pit bulls, used to like to go hunting. I mean, now I'm the complete opposite.
right.
So he made compromise for me because we had an apartment here. It's called Carlton Arms, like a country club style living. He that took away from him because we didn't have any animals, any dogs, and he was used to having dogs. He
Okay.
did have fish. So one thing he did do, because he was a country boy, he went and caught all these big tilapia fish, those big tilapia, and we had a 120-gallon tank, and he would put those big tilapia or catfish in the tank. So that made him still feel a little bit connected. And then we had a Savannah monitor lizard that got pretty big. Yeah. So
Whoa.
so we did. So I compromised on those things because I didn't growing up. I didn't have no pets.
Uh
So so you understand, you have to
yeah.
be able to make these compromises because the country boy was out the country living in a different environment that he wasn't
Right.
used to like that.
Right.
So yeah, those things. So somebody's gonna have to compromise somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah, and you're right. If if the man God sends you doesn't live where you are, are you
Yeah.
willing to relocate? Is he willing to relocate?
Either one. Yeah.
How are you going to merge these two households? If you own
Exactly.
a home and he
Yes.
owns a home, who
Yes.
decides how you merge, that, or what happens? So there's a lot that goes into, um, merging lives with somebody else, and so you bring up really, really good point. Yeah,
Hmm.
so true.
Would you relocate?
I think I would.
Okay.
I don't think
Listen,
I would have a.
I just wanted to ask you that question.
I
Would
don't
you
think I've
relocate?
I've lived so many places.
Okay, so it
Um,
wouldn't be a problem.
yeah, I don't think I would have an issue with it. Now, it depends on like you. I'm going to another country. That might be different. But here in these United States, I don't think I'd have an issue with that. Now another
Okay,
country would be, yeah, that'd be
different.
something different. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have an issue. What would you relocate?
Yeah, I have thought about that. I would
Mhm.
because I only lived one other place besides where I back coming back home, and that was Tampa.
Mhm.
But I was still a Florida. I've been a Florida girl. So I mean, but if God is calling me to him and I have
Mhm.
to relocate, I just pray it's not in the snow.
Right. 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 Um, I've never lived in a harsh snow or cold
Yeah.
environment. When I was in Texas, it snows in Texas, but it's
Okay.
not like it's so minimal.
I got you.
Yeah, it's so minimal. It's like if it snows in when it snows in Dallas, like everything shuts down. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it wasn't like we were going to work
Okay.
in, you know, 3, 4, 5, 10 feet of snow. It's like, oh, it snowed 6 inches. Nobody's going anywhere.
See?
So
Okay.
yeah, I like warm climates myself. Now
Me
Texas is
too.
hot, but I like warm climates. I don't think I'd have an issue. While I wouldn't want to be in a cold climate, if he's the man God sent, yeah, I'd do a cold climate. But
You're gonna have to make the adjustment.
yeah, I'd make it work.
What if he's from Alaska?
Oh, we now Alaska's different. Um, Only because I know people that have lived in Alaska.
Okay.
And I had actually one of a really good friend when I was in Dallas. He was in the service in Alaska, and he used to always tell us about um, not just the cold in Alaska, but the long day or long nights
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
where you have like this small little window of sunlight, and then it'd
Yep.
be like, to me that would be a bigger issue than
Yeah.
the cold stuff. Although he did say you could blow your breath and the icicles would, yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
like that cold. I was like, that's different. That's a
Yeah.
different kind of cold. I've been in like, because I have relatives that are in New York, so I've been in New
Me too.
York when the weather was like 20 below. So I've been in like
Hmm.
just, I have to live in it, but I've experienced it.
Yeah.
Yeah, praise the Lord. I be inside a lot.
Yeah. Me too.
Or that's what I say. I guess I would get acclimated to it and
Yeah.
be okay with it. But yeah, so I don't know. And but those,
Keyword is adjustment.
yes, yes,
Adjustment. Yeah. Being able to
yeah.
adjust.
I'd make the, especially if I believe that it is God ordained,
Yeah.
I would do it.
That's true.
I would do it. And I wouldn't have a problem. Now, this is our last question for tonight. The question was, am I ready? We're talking about marriage material. Or do you have the qualifications? We've run through some of the qualifications according to the Bible and not according to our opinions of what a wife is. So, do you think from the qualifications that we've listed, and those of you all that are watching us live and those that will watch the replay, you can answer in the comments. Do you think that you are currently ready to be married?
Hmm.
Hey,
In my
Lacuria
case.
and Penny and Elder Fogel and Rosemary, thanks so much for joining. I see
For
you like,
me, well, for me, because it would be, am I ready again?
right.
Um, because I've already done it and it didn't go the way it was supposed to, but I would be ready. But this time, I think my biggest thing now, and I think I was just talking to someone, I said, now I just want companionship and nothing like just like I had to start building a friendship. We wouldn't
Right.
even have to get married this year. I
Right.
mean, it wouldn't have to be that we get married this year, but
Right.
it's just to start building that to get to know them.
Okay.
But I think I could most definitely do it again because I was a pretty good wife.
Mm-hmm.
My ex-husband did have to go back and admit that I was a very good wife
All right.
and a very good woman. It's just things didn't go the way they should have in that relationship. So,
Right.
but so that gave me the confidence to know that it wasn't really on me like that because I did do my job. And I
Right.
took those vows seriously for better, for worse, richer and poorer. And I was standing there, standing strong, doing what a wife is supposed to do, a Proverbs 31 wife was supposed to do. So I did that. And so you have to be ready for that because sickness could come in that marriage.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Right.
It could
Right.
be a time where um your spouse may not have a job or money coming in.
Right.
Are you ready for that? It
Right.
could be both of you
Right.
lose your job. Are you ready for those things? Because there's just so much there than just that beautiful wedding day and all the people coming to see you celebrate this beautiful time and that honeymoon. It's what happens after that point.
Right.
So you have to know that you're ready for those things.
Right.
You really do have to know that you're gonna be ready for that because marriage is not peaches and cream. You have to work at a marriage like you do anything else. You have to work at that so that it can be very successful.
Yeah. And for me, there are, and I'm just gonna be transparent. There are times when I believe that I am,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are times where I question, like, well,
Yeah.
am I ready? Um, and so I believe that I am, and I believe that's something that God is consistently preparing me for.
Yeah.
But like I said, there are, if I am totally honest, there are days when I feel like yes, I'm ready, and then there are days when I'm like, well, am I?
Yeah. I mean, because listen, and I'm not gonna make this sound like real nasty and crazy, but what if he snores and he's snoring in your face? Breath may not smell the best. Because see, they give you all the good stuff while you dating.
Right,
But
right,
you gotta deal with the hot breath, the breath not stink, the snoring. He could pass gas a lot in his sleep. I mean, there's
hmm
a lot of things that can happen. Are
right,
you ready for all that, or are you gonna be sitting up there looking at him and like, you better get out this bed? You got to think about this stuff
right, right,
because all those things are there that people don't really think about.
right,
Yeah.
and that's true because kind of to what you were alluding to earlier is that um, this culture prepares you for weddings. It doesn't prepare you for
Yes,
marriages. And so a lot of people get
that's true.
disillusioned because they feel let down after, they've done all this, planning and preparing for this big beautiful day. You have this big beautiful day, you go on this wonderful trip, and you come home and like, this it?
Yeah. What's next?
Yeah, like,
And they
okay.
don't
But if you
gotta
if
go
you
to
haven't
work,
built a
gotta
good
do these
friendship
things.
with that person where you
Uh
enjoy their
huh.
company, and that you would be their friend even if you didn't have any kind of anything romantic. If you haven't
Mm-hmm.
built that kind of foundation, that I just like you, I think you're a cool person, I love being around you, we have a great time together, okay, and our friendship and our relationship has weathered some storms where
Yeah.
I got on
Yeah.
your nerves, you got on my nerves, and we learned how to walk through
Yeah.
that kind of disagreement or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's something
Yeah.
that we need to be taught more about.
You do because you know what? And I just heard today on the radio, and I was a little saddened. Blair Underwood and his wife, after 27 years of marriage,
Yes,
y'all calling it quits. 27 years?
that's a long
You
time.
that's a long time that you all were together. And people that have been in their 30 something years married, they decide to get a divorce after 30 years of
Yes,
being married. It's like, wow, you've invested that much time and
that's
now you're
almost three
calling it quits.
decades
Yeah.
But then it makes you wonder. And I had a friend that talked about this recently. How many people are enduring marriages?
Yeah, that's true.
We look at them and
How
we
many?
think, wow, they've been married, because just because you've been married a long time doesn't mean you've had a
Don't mean
great
it's
marriage.
happy.
Yeah, you
Doesn't
could have been
mean.
in, it could have been 27 horrible years and they just got tired of faking
Yeah.
it. You're like,
Because I
okay,
mean,
that's
because some couples been married that long, but they don't even sleep in the same room.
right. They have
You
separate
know?
lives,
Yeah, they
and
are,
they've stayed
and
together for kids, and then the kids
yeah,
get grown.
I hear that. Yeah, there's plenty that will stay together. They at least will stay together until the kids graduate high school.
Yep.
But lost feelings for them, this person, but will do a picture for so that social media can see them together,
What?
or the church can see them together, but
Yes.
they don't have no kind of connect.
Yeah.
I have
And
seen it all.
that's sad.
Yep,
But it's real.
it's
And
real
that's what
life.
we don't talk about a lot, is the reality of what marriage is. How to soberly go into
Yeah.
marriage without all of the fantasy that a lot
Yes.
of times, especially as women, a lot of the fantasy that we bring into marriage about what it's going to look like. And then when it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't look like what we had in our minds, and we're disappointed and let down, and
Mm-hmm.
we have trouble maneuvering
Mm-hmm.
in
And
marriages.
two, one thing too that people forget is that sometimes your body's gonna change
Hmm.
over time. And
Right,
what happens with certain people, especially for the women who are giving birth to babies, and they had a certain type body, but then their body has stretched out to bring these babies into the world, especially for some of these men, I'm gonna say it like this, who want the babies,
right,
then everything don't snap back the way it's supposed to,
right.
and he's looking at her like, well, you ain't looking like you did when we first got together. And she like, but hold on, I just had your babies, and my
Yes.
stomach and everything got stretched out, my feet were swollen, and I went through all this, and maybe I've almost lost my life. But you
Hmm.
talking about I don't look the way you, yeah,
Right,
the way I, and so these are the things that start coming up. And
right,
so people have to realize, I mean, it's just more to it. You have to really know that you love a person deep down, and
right,
that and I'm gonna say it like this, that your love is just not on the surface.
right, right.
Because
Yes.
if you have that surface love, that means that's not real love.
Right.
And
Yes.
and you're just loving what it looks like on the outside. But if you really love a person and love their soul and who they are,
Right.
it's going to be a lot different, and you can love them even if something goes wrong and they don't look to how they did when you first met them. You
Right.
can love them. Yeah.
And that's so important, because a lot of times that's the first thing that attracts us about someone is their
Yeah.
physical appearance, but understanding that that's not always going to be like that. You know,
No.
you talked about the woman's body, the changes that she goes through birthing
Mhm.
children. Her body is going
Exactly.
to shift. It's going to
It's
change,
going to.
and it's not going to be, in a lot of cases, it's not going to look like that pre-baby body.
Mhm.
But on the same token, a man's going to go through some changes too.
He
His
is.
body is going to, change. And so he may have been buff and fine and cut, six pack and all of that when you married, but that's,
Yeah.
chances are, and I'm not going to say in all
It's
cases,
gonna,
but chances are that that is not going to be his body 15, 20 years into the marriage. His body going to shift.
exactly.
But
It's
do you
gonna
love his
change.
soul? Of
Yes.
that soul of who that person is, outside of what the facade shows you? Can you
Yes.
love him as much or more than you did when he was fit and fine, or when she was fit and fine?
And
So
fine. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So it has to, because listen, because look at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
That's a total that's a total change from what I used to look at back in the 80s and not, well, but like around the 90s. You
Yep.
don't look like that now, so it's just like people change. People really do change over time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's important, because we change in so many areas,
Yeah,
not just physically. We change how we think about things. Um,
exactly.
we change our desires, and so
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that I have to be, and all of us have to be thinking about, am I willing to change with this person, knowing that the person that I married today is not going to be the person that I'm married to 10 years from now. Am I willing to
Exactly.
move and change and shift as they grow, as I grow? Can we
Mm-hmm.
grow together? And I hear a lot of people saying that like we just grew apart, but do
Yeah,
we
that's what they'll
have what it takes to grow together?
bring it to get, yeah, to grow together. And one thing too that people in marriages should not do is withhold sex from the other one.
Right,
If there is not no like no medical reason, but you're just doing it,
right.
that could cause problems. And there's people that will, couples that have, they will withhold sex from the other one, and it's like and so all these things are gonna start trickling this. And you have to be very, very careful with all of that. Again,
Yeah.
it's with the compromise. You can't tell them you tired every single day. you know, You can't- that,
I
after
can't
a
be
while,
tired every
yeah,
day.
no, listen, that's not gonna fly. After a while, that you that you tired every single day,
So you gonna get
because
tired of
at
hearing
that
that.
because by that point they just gonna be tired of you.
Right,
So
right,
so it's so much in a marriage. That's why, like you say, people, they only prepare for the wedding.
right,
They don't prepare for marriage,
right.
and that is important to prepare for marriage and all that comes with it. Because there can
Absolutely.
even be a lot of other temptation out there. There could be people trying to get with your man or your woman. Are
Right,
you ready for that? Are you ready for those people who are going to be trying to come in and step in, and they know you're married?
right.
And so you got to be ready for all of that too, because that stuff is going to come.
Yeah, they just messing with you.
Yes. Yes, goodness.
Yeah, and so I love that. And so if you all are joining us late, um, be sure to go back and watch this from the beginning. We've been talking about marriage material. Are you marriage material? Do you have the foundational qualities to be someone's wife? We've kind of walked through some of the verses in Proverbs 31 that gives us almost like a template, a blueprint of
Mm-hmm.
what a good wife is. And then we've just been kind of sharing some things and some situations that you may encounter in marriage, and just really being prayerful. God, am I built for marriage? Can I sustain this, or and can you
Yeah.
help me while I'm going through it? Can you help me as you prepare me for it? So,
Yes.
do you have any last words to say before we jump off on tonight?
So, what was the first question that I missed?
The first question was, hold on, let me see. What do you have to offer a spouse?
Okay. So that's what I missed. So how did you answer that question?
Well, and did I answer it? um, I'll give you my answer after you answer it.
Oh no, I was trying to get yours first.
I
So
know.
what do I have to offer? Okay, well, I have to offer him myself. I'm gonna just put it like that. And all that comes with that. I will be a great helpmate. I'm a pretty good problem solver. I
Okay.
know how to love. I know how to care for him. I know how to listen, because that's very important.
Hmm.
I know how to communicate. It takes a lot to get me angry, and
Okay.
it does. But when I get angry, it's gonna be a lot different. Um, but I know how to take care of a home,
Okay.
and I also know how to be a provider. Even though I would like it if he is, or we
Right.
could work that piece together, because
Yeah.
I've had to play the role of a provider
Right.
in my marriage, and that was for the majority of my marriage. I was the provider, so
Okay.
I know how to do that. I mean, I know how to cook, I know how to clean, I know, but those are the bases. But I also know how to pray over my husband.
Mhm.
And I used to do that a lot when even when my ex-husband, when he would be asleep, I would go in there and anoint him and pray over him. So
Mhm.
I know how to pray over him and I know how to warn the spirit.
Mhm.
Um, and I know how to even build a man,
Okay.
to be able to build him up, to encourage him, to motivate him,
Okay.
and also to help him maybe to see some things about himself that he didn't know. So I know how to do those things because I've had to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, so those are things that I can offer to him, but I also want him to reciprocate it
Right. Right.
because
To offer
I
back.
don't want to be, yeah, because I don't want to be, and I say this all the time. It is hard to be the one that's always pouring in,
Right.
but no, but there's no one pouring back into you.
Absolutely.
Because if you're just pouring in, you're gonna eventually be on empty.
Right.
So you need to be able to have that where I'm gonna put it like this. We got to be able to pour into each other, pour into each other, and that's what's gonna make that marriage last.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Yes. So true.
Hmm.
And hey Candice, she said this is good even for married women, knowing how
Yes.
to enhance our offering to our husbands. I love that. Enhancing your offering to your
Hmm.
husbands. I love that. And so for me, what do I have to offer um a man? I think that I am a tremendous encourager.
Hmm.
I guess similar to what you said, I know how to push a person and support them in their
Yeah.
endeavors.
Yeah.
I am a praying somebody.
Yeah.
I am a praying somebody. I know how to pray for you. And
Yes.
pray for your soul. Pray for your
Hmm.
mind. I that is something that I have been gifted with, to be able to
Yeah.
pray for a man and encourage him in that way. I am a planner. I am an
Hmm.
extreme planner. I can put the pieces together from A to Z. I am an organizer. I do that well. So I think that's something that I am good at.
Hmm.
Um, I am fun.
Hmm.
I am. I think I am fun. I am funny. I think I'm a pleasure to be
Yeah.
around. I think people enjoy my company. So he
Yeah.
always have fun. He
Yeah.
always have fun. I'm adventurous. I would always be thinking of things for us to do.
Skydiving too.
um, I I could do skydiving. I have not done
Okay.
skydiving yet, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would probably do just about anything but bungee jumping. I am not the bungee jumper. That's not something I ever desired to
Okay.
do. But
So
I zip line, all of that.
wait. So you would bungee jump, but not. So you
I
wouldn't
would
bungee
not
jump,
bungee jump.
but you would skydive.
Yeah, skydiving is just free falling with a parachute. Bungee jumping has that knee jerk thing that happens once you get down to to the lowest depths that you're gonna do. I don't want that
Yeah.
jerk reaction kind of thing. I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, I
So
think I would rather deal with the jerk to just be free falling.
no,
I
I
think.
can I can do the free falling. I've done when we were living in Dallas, there was this thing called what was it called? It wasn't nothing but net. What it was called free fall, and it was
Okay.
like 10 stories high, and they just
Mm.
released you off of a yeah, off a platform, and you just fell into the like this net. It was fun. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But and so stuff like that for me is fun. Stuff like that for me is exciting, and I like
So
to
you need
say
an adventurous man.
yes. I'm and yeah, I would hope that he would be adventurous. But here's the thing: he doesn't have to be because I have girlfriends who are.
Okay. All
And
right. So then
so
you could just go with them.
yeah,
There you
if
go.
that's not something that he's into, I got a group of girlfriends that are. So I'm like, you don't even have to do it if you
That's
don't want
good.
to,
That's good.
but I am. So yeah, and so I can offer that. Now this is one thing that I'm gonna have to pray through.
Oh boy.
I'm a better talker than I am a listener.
Yeah. You're gonna have to work on that one.
So that's something I know. that I'll have to be praying to the Lord for
Mhm.
to help me. Leslie says, build your
Mhm.
man. All right.
Yeah, you got to build them
Yes,
and
absolutely.
not tear them down, because I'm gonna tell you, the second you start tearing down your man, there is a woman waiting to build him up. And
Right.
if she can start building him up while you tearing him down,
Mm-hmm.
she has him.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's so important. It's so important to be you. You need to be the one building them
Right.
up, because all it takes is somebody else to come in and then start saying things. Because I'm gonna tell you, it's so important for me. Like for me, at one point, and I'm just sharing a little bit. My husband wasn't, and I think it's just because he was going through a lot of things and he was dealing with a lot of depression. But he wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
even say I was beautiful. I didn't hear none of that stuff.
Right.
And I began to just be in my self, like, what does he find me attractive anymore, or all these things. And then it took outside guys would see me and be like, "You're beautiful,"
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, wow, I'm getting it from the outside, but I can't get it from my spouse.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
so important that you're building up your spouse,
Right.
telling them all those things. You're beautiful. You're handsome, baby. You can do. So they won't have to hear it from somebody else. But or if they do hear it, they can be like, "Oh, my wife says that about me all the time."
Right. Right. Yes. I love that.
Uh huh.
Yes. 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 And I'm a secret keeper.
Oh, good.
I am a secret keeper. If you tell
Yes,
me
that's important.
anything, and this is not just for a spouse, this is for people in general. If you tell me anything in confidence, it's going to the grave. I will
Hey, yeah.
tell nobody. I can
Awesome.
be trusted. Now
Awesome.
that's the truth, the truth. I can be
Awesome.
trusted with your secret, with your heart.
That's good.
So
That's
his
good.
heart would be safe with me.
Yes.
It'd be
Yes.
safe.
And it and let me say this too. If a man gives you his heart,
Mm-hmm.
you have him. Because
Right.
a man can give you his body, a man could give many women his body and
Right.
don't have no attachments with her.
Right.
But
Right.
when he could give you his heart, that means that he trusts you enough and he really does love you if he
Mm-hmm.
could give you his heart. So it is so important, because I know for women it could be a little bit different. We could give our heart to anybody. If he's saying the right stuff, you
Right.
ready to give your heart to him.
Yes.
I mean, you ready to do it all. But see, a man is totally different. They can do all these things, but they won't give their heart to all the women. It'll be like that one woman that he will say, okay, I can give my heart to her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So don't mess it up when he does.
Right. Oh no. And it was so funny. We were doing church girl chats. Is when I do that monthly. We were doing that, and we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about it. And I had my cousin on here, Pastor McKnight, and I was telling him
Uh-huh.
I have things that I know about the men I have dated that nobody knows. We're not even together anymore, but I'll never divulge to anybody. Because just because the relationship didn't work doesn't mean that now I start telling your secrets. No,
Uh-huh.
that's something you
Yeah.
told me in
You
confidence.
still
It
keep
doesn't
it. Yeah.
matter what happened in the relationship.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah.
told me, nobody will ever know because I I honor confidences. And
Yeah.
so that's just that.
It's important. It's important. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
important. Now I do have something that I want to add, and this is from my mom
Okay,
to
awesome.
you, and but she said it to the both of us.
Hmm.
She wants to know, would we ever consider doing like that online dating, like
I have done
Christian.
that before.
So you've done it. Okay, so you've already done it.
Yeah, okay, yes, I have. If for me, and I'll just say that for me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would do it again.
Okay.
I did
Why?
it on several different sites because I did it on one, and then they were like, well, no, that's not the right one. That's why you didn't get success because you didn't do it on the right one. Then so I tried a couple of other ones. I was like, you know what? Um, I want to see your face.
Oh yeah.
I want to see your eyes when because I have great discernment.
That's good.
Sometimes
Yeah.
the size you can't you yeah, it's different trying to discern. But if you're in front of
Mm-hmm.
me, I can get your number.
That's
So, but
good.
yes, I have tried it. I know people that have had great success with it, that are married to this day, and they met their spouses online.
Online.
It just wasn't for me. And
Okay.
I think if that's I have a couple friends now that are on doing online dating, and so I think
Okay.
you have to know yourself. I think if you haven't tried it and you want to try it, I think you should, because it could be a way to meet someone. I have just found that, and this is even with social media, that people can be whoever they want to be
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
online.
Yep.
They can pretend a whole lot better online. And so, for anyone, for anyone that may be considering it, I'd say proceed with caution.
Yeah.
When you do that, make sure that you set up some safeguards for yourself if you're going to do that. Even though I know a lot of them, you'll talk for a while before you try to meet someone in person and all of that. But I just say, go to that process knowing that the person that is presented may not be the person
That's true.
that you actually meet. And not that's not everybody. Everybody's not deceptive, but
Mm-hmm.
online is a great place for people to be deceptive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So,
And I
would you
wonder, like,
consider it?
if I've thought about it, and then it's like, and I know that I'm pastoring now, and I'm like, I wonder, are there other pastors that are doing that? Like, are they, like, I don't
Okay.
know. It's one of those things. But I mean, I've never done that before. I've
Hmm.
never done online dating. So
It's
I don't know.
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I would almost, and I don't even know how the saints of God would do this, but I'd almost prefer to just set up this like meet and greet
That'll be nice.
with some good single folks. But here's
We've
my
had that
issue.
here. We've had that here.
Did the men show up?
It wasn't as many.
That has always been an
That is always the
issue.
problem. The women will come,
The
but
women
you
show
can't
up
get
in
the men to come.
droves, and you have three men.
And then those three men, yeah, well, I'm not gonna say nothing.
And
It's
to me, that is the only downfall, because I know that I used to work in the singles ministry when I was a member at the Potter's House, and we used to talk to single men all the time about events that we would host that they would never show up to. But I knew so many single men, but they just would never come to the events that we had that were these kinds of gatherings. And I would always
yeah.
ask them, why aren't you coming to the little things that we do? And they're like, because they felt like, one of my good guy friends, he said he felt like he was in a meat market, and it just felt, you know,
He
almost
didn't want that kind
unnatural. They didn't like being looked at like that, or they felt overwhelmed, because
of.
if it was, because women are always going to show up to those things.
Oh
So
yeah.
if it was a group of 50 women and three guys, you got 50 women looking at three guys like, is you the
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, is you the one? That's what they be trying to figure out.
Yeah,
Women will
so
show up to that stuff in droves, and I'm telling you. But listen, I actually had to preach at a singles conference or a singles ministry, and I'm telling you, one of the guys that was there, to this day, I think he's crazy. He would see me out. He's always asking me, "Do you have somebody yet?" This last time, I had to tell him yes. I have the Lord, because he always is following me. I don't know. I don't care where I could be. I don't know how he spots me in crowds
hmm
until I literally, and I'm like, well, it looks like I got a stalker.
and I'm gonna tell you. Okay, go ahead. Never mind.
No, I'm just saying, because the first thing I thought about, even when I was at that, I was like, well, maybe I'll meet my husband here. I'm preaching at a, but I think it was only two guys there. And it was, and I said, Lord, this can't be the one. That's the I told him. I
This is
said,
not
listen,
him. This
I
is
said,
not
this
him.
can't be the one. He listen, he was still living at home. He had no car. He was riding a bike, and he was telling me, he says, I don't know what's the problem. I said, well, I'm gonna tell you what the problem is. You still living at home with your parents. You don't have a car, and you need to get a job. If you can somehow
Get
get
those
all
things
that kind of
together.
set up, just maybe, just maybe,
Just maybe.
you can snag one. But if you don't have none of that together, odds are you may be single for a while.
Yeah, because then you aren't ready to be a husband.
Yeah, and see, and I don't think he understands that because the more I look at him, I say he is not ready for that, and I am not gonna go back into nothing that God already brought me out of.
Right. Right. Well, I'm going to be praying about some, because if I did something, it would almost have to be equal amounts, like
Yeah,
equal amount of men and equal amount of women in an environment where it is there's no pressure. There's no, this is
put
not
it
like you
together,
got
Sharon.
to. This is like, this is an opportunity, and for just friendship.
Put it
Forget
together, Sharon.
romantic
Yes,
relationship, just friendship. Um, so
I'll help you.
okay, we'll put something
You know
together.
I like planning events. I like
That's
planning
right.
events.
This is, I forgot, I
I
have the
do a lot
ultimate
here.
event planner here.
Yeah, I do a lot of events here. So that'll be something we could do. That'll be awesome.
Okay,
But
we'll,
listen,
we'll
we
have
got
to
to
put
have
our
some.
heads together.
We have to have some successful men though.
Yes.
It can't. It can't be the one still laying up on their mama couch.
No, we'll have to vet them
Yeah.
to make sure that it's a. We'll have to get a good group of men and a good group of women.
And yeah, and I don't want to just talk about the men. It got to be the women too.
Yeah.
Cause some women they come to this thing and they're just looking for like a guy to take care of them,
Right.
and it needs to be and that's not how you need to approach anything. Just for the guy to take care of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it most definitely cannot be that.
Yes. So,
Hmm.
ladies that are watching, let us know in the comments if you think that would be something that you'd be interested in. Number one, and if you know, so if it doesn't matter if you're single or if you're married and you're watching us, if you know of a good man, this is gonna be the call for men. A good
Calling out
man,
men. Calling out good men. Yes.
a good man. Inbox me the information so that we can put something together before the year's out. Inbox
Yes.
me your recommendation and why you think that he would, number one, be willing to do something like this, and number two, why he
Yeah.
would be a good candidate for just,
Yeah.
a meet and greet, just a fun kind of outing that we would do. So let me know. Y'all hit me up in my inbox. If you are on YouTube, you can message me there. If you're on Facebook, you can message me here as well. Let
Yeah.
me know. I think that would just be something fun to do, and I'd,
It
I'd
would be.
love. Chrissy and I are gonna host it,
Yep.
so
And listen, we're gonna get ready for love or run for their money because those people that they've been having on there have been disappointing me. I hate looking at their little reunion, and even the people you thought was together, they didn't even last after the show was over.
no, that's because they're doing it wrong. We'll have to
They,
do
yes, they
ready,
are.
ready to love, Christian edition. For people that are
Exactly.
ready to love and not just
That
ready
are
to be
truly
discovered, because I think a lot of these people are ready to
exactly
be discovered on TV.
discovered.
So
Yeah, yeah.
they trying to get business.
Sorry, Uncle Tommy. We just telling you, y'all doing something a little different on that Ready to Love.
Yeah, y'all, if y'all need us to be consulting for the show, just let us know because we can
Yeah,
vet these people for you. Like, no,
yeah.
she ain't good. He
And
ain't good.
and what I was disappointed on with that when they finally brought on someone that was plus size,
Hmm.
but there was no men that was wanting a plus size woman.
Yeah, they weren't
Like they
interested
was
in
like,
her.
oh, they put her in a friend zone. And I thought that was bad because everyone's not a size 3 or
The
2
majority of
or
people aren't.
4. And so they brought on a plus size woman, but none of the men were interested in that.
Right.
And she didn't even have like a fighting chance to make it to this part where they are now.
Right.
Because see, I'm a plus size girl. So
Right.
watching that was like, wow. So none of you all could see past the fact that she was a little thicker. Okay, so yeah, it got to be a good mix.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we will work on that, and we will give y'all the update. Like I said, inbox me if you have some, or even if you have some women that you want us to consider. Inbox me, but specifically tonight's call is for men. We'll do women later because that ain't gonna be a problem. That ain't gonna
That's
be a
gonna be
problem.
easy.
So
You can
tonight's
hit the
call is
easy
going
button
to
on that
be
one.
yes for women. Thank you all so much for joining. If you are watching this on the replay, I will let you know that this is going to be up. We go live on Facebook and YouTube. It is only up on Facebook for 24 hours and then it is deleted and it lives
Mhm.
on YouTube. So if you come back and you try to see it tomorrow this time, it's going to be gone. But
Yeah,
it is always available on YouTube. And if you want
YouTube.
to see any of our other episodes, feel free to go over to youtube.com/, Cheryl Thomas Speaks, and you can binge watch all of the episodes. Y'all binge watching all the stuff on Netflix. This is great
Exactly.
content, so go ahead and binge watch that. And we will look
Exactly.
forward to seeing you all on next Tuesday night. I forgot the topic that we're going to be talking about. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, I'm gonna have to post it because I don't see it. But we'll let y'all know next week what we're gonna be talking about. We love
Okay.
you with the love of the Lord, and we will see you then. Good night.
Have a good night.